Happy Wealth Wednesday, Denise. I'm so excited to have you here. I'd love to kick off and just have you share a bit about yourself and what you're up to.
Thank you so much, Alana. I'm excited to be here. Love having you as one of our partners and love, getting inspired by you and your community and everything that you're doing. So super happy to be here. So my name is Denise. I'm the co-founder of Surge. Surge is an organization that focuses on securing women's place in Web3. We are a multifaceted organization at this point. We started with the North Star mission of empowering and securing women's place in Web3. To do so, we operate as creators of easily digestible educational content. We have a community. Our community mostly lives on Discord. And so this is a place where women come to go through their crypto journeys with each other and share about their experiences. So that's been awesome to foster and create that community. We also have a job board where we place women with jobs within Web3, and it's meant to be a place for Web3 organizations to come and improve the diversity within their organizations. And most recently, we launched the Search Passport NFT, which acts as a membership to an ecosystem of perks and opportunities across the crypto world. So that's been really fun, and we can get a little bit more into it later, but that's a little TLDR on what Surge is up to.
I love it. And so we always get started with this equalizing question about, do you remember what your first ever investment was? What or who got you started, whether both in like just the general market or in crypto?
Yeah. So the first investment that I remember was buying Bitcoin and Ethereum back in 2017. I had heard friends talk about it, started reading some articles, and just found it super interesting. I really didn't know much at the time. Never thought I would work in crypto, and I might have bought some stocks that probably super failed right before that. But that was my first investment. And I remember it being so exciting because it was really difficult to actually do it. Nobody that I knew really knew how to do it. And I had one friend, and he helped me buy a ledger, a hardware wallet, which now a cold storage wallet, which now I still recommend it to people. And I'm so grateful that right away I had that, which is sort of rare. But yeah, that was my introduction to crypto as well.
And I'd love to know more too about your personal story. Like where are you from? And is this kind of was financial education part of your life growing up? Or, how did you start to get this curiosity?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Peru, and I moved to California when I was 11. I wasn't working in finance before, but having had grown up in Peru and seeing you know the social inequalities and the relationship with money that people in third world countries especially have. When I started, that really connected with when I started to learn about crypto and the idea of what the potential of these decentralized financial models and financial systems could do for places like Peru. So that was definitely, my upbringing and what I saw as a kid living there and going back now. I go back about once a year, really ties into my interest in crypto for better financial models.
I love that. And what did you do before you got into the crypto industry? And how did you, or why did you get into the space of Web3?
Yeah, so I was working in marketing and branding before marketing, branding, and social media before crypto. And as I said, I was always really interested in reading articles here and there. Didn't really think I'd work in the space. And then about 2 years, a year and a half ago, I think it was during the pandemic, I was reading more and I just had that click moment, knew I wanted to work in crypto, which a lot of people who work in crypto experience, and then you don't really look back. So I joined a fellowship by Gitcoin called Kernel that I highly recommend to anybody that wants to learn more, wants to take the leap. And from there, I knew I wanted to work in crypto. And the two things that I wanted to help fix that I had experienced throughout my somewhat lonely self educating journey was number one, the language around crypto can be really intimidating to a newcomer. And I think that often discourages a lot of people from wanting to enter the space. So I was really passionate about changing the information pipeline and, you know, um, being able to speak speak and have educational content in easily digestible ways. And then the other thing that I was really passionate about was I wanted to create a place for women and underrepresented minorities in crypto where they could feel like they belonged. When I was getting into the space, I would often join these NFT communities or Discord communities, and they were always predominantly male. And so I wanted a place where women and non binary individuals could come and ask questions and share their experience and have a community to go through their journey with. And that's when I met Juliet and we started building Search along some other amazing women that we met at Kernel.
So special. And what role do you feel that you play now in the wealth space, and why is it important?
Starting with the North Star mission, for me, the role that I'm aiming to play is to ensure that women are educated and have the tools to build this new generation, this new web, right? This new generation of the internet. And so I'm really passionate about empowering women and reassuring women that they can do this and highlighting other examples of other women that are doing it. I think when you see people that look like you and act like you achieving things, that is a really motivating thing for other women to step in. So that's the role that I try to play, and having beginner inclusion and ensuring that the rest of the space is like that. And I think we're trying to lead by example by with our educational flywheel. And yeah, I think those two things have been really important to me. And Search is really all about that education and the empowerment of women.
I'm sure there's so much learning that's come through that process of even minting and launching an NFT project. It's a big undertaking. Curious what the most exciting thing is that you've learned in that process that you would want others to know.
When it comes to the technical stuff or the operation stuff, I've learned so much. I always joke around that the last 6 to 8 months feel like 2 years, which they really do, but in a really amazing way. But aside from, all of that, aside from the learnings that you have through Discord and through NFT projects and through marketing, something that I have learned and found really beautiful is to see how many people there are in this space willing to help each other. It's almost every day on the Search Discord and in our community, I see these one-to-one relationships forming. And you'll see people come in who have never downloaded a crypto wallet, right? And need help on doing so, getting advice from somebody who's been in the space for years. And I think when you join communities in this space, you'll know if it feels right for you very soon. And so my biggest advice for people here when it comes to that is just ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and you'd be surprised how many people in this space are willing to help. And so I do think that there's a lot of people in this Web3 world that share the vision of wanting to build together and empowering each other along the way. So that's been a really amazing thing to see.
I love that. I feel like it's so true and so accurate. I'm curious if there is now a person or a company or even a community in the space that really inspires you, and why.
Yeah, tons. I'd have to start with the Search team. The women that I'm currently working with, I'm so inspired by. Juliet and Jackie are amazing thought leaders. Dusanka, who's our content lead, she's done an incredible job of creating this easily digestible educational content flywheel that has helped onboard so many people into the space. Kim, who works with us, is so thoughtful and very inclusive. Our moderators are amazing. So really inspired by the people I'm working with. Also, you and the amazing community you're building for women at ETH Wealth. There is Annalisa Caballero, who runs Crypto Mujeres, which they focus on onboarding Latin women and bringing more diversity and underrepresented minorities into Web3. So I don't know if I have an answer of just one person, but I'm constantly inspired by so many women just helping bring underrepresented minorities in.
That's so special. Yeah. And I love this question because it's such a great way for people listening to then find even more inspiration and connect with other people, companies, groups. So thank you for sharing. I know I'll definitely be diving into some of them myself. And what advice would you give to somebody getting started?
If you're interested in joining Web3, just take the leap. There are so many opportunities once you jump into the space. And I think people often believe you either have to be technical to work in crypto or you have to have years of experience. And I have found that if somebody has the ability to adapt to a fast-paced environment, is a quick learner, and is really passionate about the space and the organization they want to work for, they've already got what it takes. And so I think the hardest part is making that jump and taking that leap. And then once you do that and you're on the other side, you'll see there's a ton of opportunities. Yeah.
Realizing that like DeFi summer was in 2020, that a lot of the applications that you can even be part of now are only just being invented. So it's such a great time to learn and dive in. And I would love to, just before we kind of close off, know more if you could share about the Passport NFT, because I think that is such a great starter introduction to an ecosystem. So if you could just share a bit more about what that is, how it works, some of the partners.
The Surge Passport NFT is a membership to an ecosystem of different opportunities and perks across the crypto world and Web3 in general. The categories for these perks range from education, finance, Web3 tools, IRL experiences and events. And so one thing that was really important for us was to create an NFT project that came with a lot of utility. And we see NFTs as utility tokens. And so we actually launched with a utility upfront model. And so basically, if you are a holder of the Surge Passport NFT, you get access to a public dashboard of perks, which everyone can see. There's currently about 15 perks in there, and we're constantly adding. We're creating a season 2. But basically, you click on the perk you'd like to claim. These perks come in the form of subscriptions, vouchers, discounts. Some are application-based, some are for everyone, some are raffle-based. And you'll then verify through a link that you, in fact, hold a Surge NFT in your wallet, and then you'll get to claim your perks. And now we're getting ready to announce our season 2 of perks. So we're super excited to be continuing to add value to the community.
I love it so much. And we're happy and excited that Eve is part of that perk network as well, because it's such an amazing onboarding tool for new people to be like, oh, wow, here's a landscape of different things that I can learn about, try tools I can experiment. So it's a really special thing. I would love, anyone on the call to, check it out and check out the Surge Passport. Is there anything else we should know? How can we follow your journey, Juliet, your co-founder, and just the journey of Surge as you start thinking about season 2 and what that might include?
There's a few different ways. So we have communities. We know that people have their social media preferences, right? And so our biggest, most active place, I would say, is probably Discord or Twitter. And so you could either follow us on Twitter, you could join our Discord community, and that's the place to really, meet people and form these one-to-one relationships across the different channels. We also have a free newsletter. We have an Instagram. And, to act that extra layer of membership, we also have the Search Passport NFT. We sold out of it, but anybody can get it in the secondary market on OpenSea or Coinbase NFT. So I would say keep up with us on social media. I can add all the links at the bottom. We also have a link tree, and subscribe to our newsletter to stay up to date with what we're up to. And yeah, those would be the best ways.
I love it. So many good resources. We will absolutely be following along. And thank you for joining us today and sharing your story. It's really inspiring.
Thank you. We're excited. And forgot to mention, but also on our website, all of our content is free. So there's a bunch of resources on there for anybody trying to get into crypto or just navigating crypto.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Denise.
Yeah, thank you for having me.